I'd like to introduce Dr. Richard M. Chin, master of the Chen style Tai Chi, as well as White Eyebrow Kung Fu and Jiao Ga Kung Fu. And in addition, the author of many best-selling books on medicine and martial arts. And his latest bestseller, The Power of Qigong, which is available at Amazon.com. Dr. Chin is also the professor of neuroscience and Chinese medicine at Long Island University in New York. Our topic today will be the difference between traditional martial arts training and today's more modern martial arts training.
Well, okay, thank you, Andy. So, big difference, okay? But before we get into it, let me give you, the audience, a little background so they know that my background, so we can talk about the subject, okay? So, traditionally, I trained, I'm sixth generation, direct line in White Eyebrow from my master, Chin Do. So, this sets the, what we're talking about traditional. You're not going to get more traditional than people who know martial arts and who Chin Do was and what the White Eyebrow system is. And I'm third generation, direct lineage from the Jiao Ga system with Chen Manxiang, who's the grandmaster of that system. So traditional, what I'm setting is what my background being a very traditionally trained martial arts versus modern day today. Well, there are many differences, okay? One being, today's martial arts is more sport orientated. Number one, sport orientated. Two, it's very commercial. Now, what do I mean by commercial? Well, the whole aspect of rank, for example, we didn't have the elaborate ranking system as you have today. Like in karate and kung fu, you have 8 steps or steps before you reach black belt, black sash. So each stage, there's a fee, and so that's a way to make money. In some schools, they change color of uniform, so this becomes a big business. It's not good or bad, it's just very different. In the old days, we weren't really concerned much with how much you paid for your ranking and such. Matter of fact, you weren't concerned with how much you paid at all. It wasn't fee-based. Your entry to the school, let's say my own personal experience, I was studying with my master Chin Do and my master Chen Manxiang was, were you qualified? Were you recommended? Your character. You couldn't come into school and say, listen, I'm going to pay you this fee and you'll teach me. That wasn't how you got into school. It depended on your character, and then it depended on your skill level. So it wasn't money-based at all, and traditional training was very hard because they didn't really care about you paying the rent or not. Today, the training is, we have to be very careful, because if you hurt the students, he's not going to pay, and you lose your money. The way we trained, if you got hurt, you got hurt. Okay, it was about training. So that's overall one of the major differences. Then so it's and sports. So the other aspect that I bring into is sport, especially karate became a sport. So it doesn't even resemble the traditional karate. Judo. One of the biggest things that happened to judo, it went from a martial art to Olympic sport, and now it's a sport. So, with sport, you have rules. It sets up a whole different parameter. So the emphasis is on winning. That's the difference in sport. You want to win. You want to win the medal. Okay? Whereas classic martial arts is about training the mind, body, spirit. Okay? It didn't matter if it took you 5 years, 10 years, your whole life. Okay, we weren't concerned with you gotta train tomorrow because you have a tournament tomorrow. Okay, so these are the main differences. Besides the approach, now the approach of training is quite different. With my master, he would show a technique. He was very famous for not showing a technique twice. He would show it to you, not so much full speed, let's say a good speed, and we would say to him, but, could you show us again? We didn't quite get the move. And his answer was, your opponent's going to show you the move twice, and he'd walk away. And that was the point. He's not going to show it to you twice. You get the move as he shows you. In a modern school, you go there, the teacher's very, very patient, show you move for move.
Twice,
twice, as many as you want, as long as you want. Matter of fact, the better. Because if you don't get the move, he gets more money. Okay, and in our tradition, you didn't get the move, you got hurt. Okay,
Wow.
so you learn the move. You learn the move very fast, Andy. Right?
Gotcha.
Either you get it or you don't. And I think in Andy, because you're a sportsman, you follow it. Most sports was that way. When baseball and things like that, they didn't cuddle. Right,
No.
the athletes, right? You played or you didn't play.
You were either a pro or you were off the team.
I remember a story. You might know better than me because you followed baseball. There was a baseball coach in one of the big teams. I think he was the Yankees, and he would give his players. He would give correction 2 or 3 times at the most, and that was it. You didn't get what you're saying. Didn't bother coaching anymore. Okay, and because you should be able to get it because you're at pro level, you should get it. Right. So that was the the attitude that in martial arts from when I trained, same thing. You learn to get it. You may in the beginning you may learn you learn that if you don't pick the move, it's not going to be repeated, and all of a sudden the mind picks up speed like any pro athlete. You actually move into a hyperspace where you do pick up a technique first time looking at it. So, like. What we do in Kung Fu is we learn forms, which is like a set pattern. It's a dance, In gymnastics, the full arrangement. So when you're a beginner, and you know that from Tai Chi, learning all these movements, things like that. And so in the beginning, it takes you a long time to learn a set. As you get more and more advanced, I can look at a set. I can look at any system, look at the form once or twice. I can do that set. Okay? Your mind goes there, okay, and it picks up movement. And I use this analogy to my students who complain to me, I can't remember the moves, can't remember the form. And of course, we're in the modern era, so I would, patiently teach them the form over and over again. And I say, but the difference is this, many of the students today's martial arts are not professional. I was professionally trained. And I use this analogy to some of my students. Because just martial arts, but I said, no, it's not just martial arts. If you're a dancer, professional dancer, and you go out, try out for a play, the dance master comes out. Everyone lines up. You've seen the chorus line, you haven't, that's the movie. And the dance master does the dance. Boom, 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 does all the steps, maps it out, and then you go, okay, line up. And half the people will get those moves, the other half don't. They're gone. Okay. Then those half that's still there, they'll go to the next combination, half of them are gone. They're not sitting there saying, this is the move, let's go 1, 2, 3. You're professional. You better know the move, and the moves are basic. The combinations are different. So, right? You know what I'm saying, okay? So martial arts, when my students say to me, I don't know that form, well, that's really an amateur. Then I know where they're at. Professionally, if I show you the move, you should get it.
Right.
Right? Right? This is with all pros. Whether you're a dancer, musician, same thing. A musician will hear it once, he'll play it. Maybe not perfectly, but he'll play it. And as he practices, he'll play that song better and better. This is a professional. As my musician friends told me, he said, oh, professional can pick it up.
Yep.
Professional dancer will pick it up. Professional fighter will pick it up. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then like we talked about football, right? If football changes, every play, the play changes. You have a set play, but it changes. Yeah. And if you're a pro, you'll adapt. Mm-hmm. Okay. So this is the difference in training. One of the aspects of training from the classic, how I was trained, martial arts, you better be able to figure out a move right away and adapt to it, okay, if you're a professional at all. Nobody's going to sit down and say, here's the move, let's do this, let's do that. So that's one of the differences, okay? And it's not good or bad. It's one of the differences, okay? Any question? Does that sort of give you the idea of the difference in training? I mean, there's more, another story is, one of my students asked me, but you're not training me the way you were trained. Again, a lot of students ask me that. Well, how did you train? Okay, I said, for example, in the old days, if you went to a master, let's say judo, and you asked him, well, how would you do this throw? Well, he'd throw you. That's how he should do your throw. Okay, and that's traditional training. He wasn't being mean. He was showing you what you asked. How do you do a throw? He'd throw you. If you're doing kung fu, how do you do a punch? He'd punch you. Okay, so then you know how to block it. Today we break it down to this is how you do the throw, step by step, step by step. This is how you do a punch, step by step. So one of the differences in the old days is you want to learn technique. You say yes, boom, he gave you the technique. As my teacher says, well, if I break it down, now here's the point. If I break down a move, it's not the move. It's not real, and that's why they taught the way they did. End of part 2.